All right, we are live with the burning wheel. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing?
I don't see the burning wheel. Where is it?
It's all around us, Connor. It's inside of us.
That's
That was
painful.
lame. Anyway.
We're doing well. How are you, Caleb?
Excellent. I'm doing great. I have been so pumped for this for like 3 weeks now, and I'm so excited that we're actually starting.
Why does it say we're offline on Twitch?
I don't know, because Twitch is being stupid.
I'm on your
Chase,
thing.
watching this right now?
No, it's on. It's live.
Chase says that it's not starting yet.
The channel is offline now, but you can still check out its most recent broadcast.
It's not even giving me an option to watch yet.
Yep, it's still not up. It might just be a lag. I know there's a stream lag. It might
Yeah,
just
that
be
ain't-
There we go.
up.
Yeah, it's just lag.
Is it up now?
Oh,
Okay.
reconnecting in 2 seconds. There we go.
Alright, is it starting from the beginning though?
I hope not. That'd be a little weird.
Oh, that's strange.
Probably.
I saw on my screen it was doing things. So
I had it up and it wasn't playing. I have it up in Twitch. I mean.
Yep.
And it wasn't doing anything.
I
Now it
see Mallory.
It
Hello,
still says
Mallory.
offline.
It's fine. It's fine. Oh no!
Hey.
What happened to
There you go.
everybody?
I figured Twitch would know if it was online.
Am I still here? Are we all gone?
I think I lamed
I
out.
can hear you.
Oh my goodness! It's a disaster already.
Okay, we're back.
Let's go ahead and load this up again.
Yeah. I'm not familiar super well with this Android Twitch app, but it doesn't give me an option to watch live.
Yeah, I have it up and it says it has our faces and it says offline. It doesn't. It's not. But it's streaming.
It's
so
working.
I don't know.
It's working. It's fine.
Is Mallory watching us? And that's
Yes.
Hi, Mallory.
Okay.
this is sweet.
Let's
But we're good.
all that
So we're-
aside.
we're
Yeah,
good.
let's just go.
Reload
We're just
it,
going.
Chase.
We're just going.
Now
It's
that that's
fine.
happened, okay.
It's fine. Okay, so yeah, alas, we are down one member today. Adam was not able to join us, but we will continue on without him starting up this game. Connor and I talked it over, and we figured out a way for him to be introduced later, but I'll explain that as we continue with the game. Let's just go through a few quick details of Burning Wheel real quick, just for those who are watching the stream for the first time and want to know what this game is at all, and for those of you who haven't played yet, and you're completely in darkness, Connor.
You're green. You look like the Hulk.
You should definitely turn the light back on or change whatever you're doing.
The screen just turned off for a second.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
boy.
So yeah, Burning Wheel. I mean, it's a role-playing game, obviously, and I'm pretty sure that anyone who is watching this knows that. But the specifics of what's different, just real quick to explain it to you. So every single time that we're gonna come up against something that we're gonna have to roll against, there's a situation where you guys want to accomplish something. You're gonna be rolling, the skills that are relevant there, or the stat, and all of that's on your character sheet. So, and I'm pretty sure I showed you guys that, so that you can look at that and be able to click exactly what you want to be rolling. But basically, what I'll do is I will tell you what obstacle it is. I'll tell you what the difficulty is. And an important thing to know in Burning Wheel is once I've told you what the difficulty is for whatever you're doing, you are committed to doing it, and you have to follow through with the roll. So don't ask what the difficulty of a thing is unless you are committed to following it through. So.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you could ask how hard does my character think this might be? Does this thing seem like a thing that's possible?
Yeah, and exactly. I'll give you a vague answer, but I'm not going to tell you the exact mechanical difficulty of that. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have all your.
What is the difficulty? Yeah. What is the difficulty for killing Jared?
That would depend on a lot of situations.
That's
Not,
What is the
opposed
difficulty
roll.
for
not very
seducing
low
Connor?
though.
Man.
It wouldn't be very hard, to be honest.
No, not
I don't
really.
think he has any, you don't have any really good combat skills, do you, Jared?
I have seduction.
It would be harder to kill him with him trying to convince you not to than to actually do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a gray shaded fortitude, so or health, right?
Yeah, he does
Yeah,
have a gray shade health, so that's the thing.
really doesn't help you very much, unfortunately,
Oh,
in fights.
Caleb lied to me.
No, it helps you. Like if you get a wound and you have to make a health test to survive, a gray shade is going to come in handy.
Except that whenever you lose a combat roll, they get to do whatever they want. So if they just decide that they kill you,
So this is the thing. What we're probably going to end up doing, because we're not using the most of the other subsystems, because Burning Wheel has Burning Wheel has like a base system, and then it has a couple subsystems on top of that that are optional. And we're not going to be using the fight rules or the range and cover rules. We will be using the Duel of Wits rules, but not until later when we're a little bit more comfortable with the system. What I'll probably end up doing, David, is probably running a lot of these a little bit like Fate. Whereas, like, in specific, like, exchanges, so, like, David, you're trying to do this one specific thing, you're trying to cut off this guy's hand, it's going to be, like, in a bloody versus or whatever, but it's going to be it's not going to be just, for the most part, unless you're just going into a giant battle, it's not going to be one bloody versus test, and then whoever wins gets to chop off the head of the other person. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. And also, with the bloody versus, most of the time, people are just going to be wounded anyway. It's not going to be a one-sided thing.
Doesn't rarely would it kill anybody, because you actually take the damage that is rolled, but at the end of the bloody versus, there's supposed to be a pause for dramatic things to happen. They're at your mercy, which means you can finish them all. So even if you're fighting someone with a white shade health and you manage to beat them in a bloody versus, they're dead as long as you want them to be.
That is not how I read that, but we can get into that as we continue.
I'll look for it.
Just leave it for now.
Don't have to worry about it now, but
yeah. So as we continue with this, most of the statistic stuff is going to be just automated for us, because it's just Roll20 handles all of that stuff, but. And I'll run you through as we go, like what specifically you're going to be doing. What you're going to be doing for a role specifically is when you open a character, and you make a roll, you will have a window that pops up that tells you input value modifiers, and it will ask you to put in any modifiers that you may have. This is where forks come in. So if the situation would be something that would allow another skill to help you with that situation, then you can add a 1 for that skill. And then also, if anyone else has a relevant skill and they want to help you with it, they can add 1 dice to your roll, or 2 dice if their exponent is 7 or higher. If their exponent is 5 or higher, which is the value of the skill. If you have a skill that is 7 or higher, then forking it in will give you 2 dice, but everything else is 1 dice. And then once you've figured out what modifiers you have, you press submit, and then it will come up to Artha. And if you have Persona, when everybody has 1 Fate and 1 Persona to start off with, those are like the they're Fate points. It's a lot like Fate points, except it does a different thing mechanically. But you can, if you have a Persona point, you can add it to this if you really want to add. And basically, you just get 1 extra dice to your roll with a Persona. There is, with Persona points.
What do fate points do then?
Fate points
basically.
Basically, fate points are spent after a roll to open end 6s. So basically, if you get any 6s, you can re-roll those 6s, and if those 6s come up, if those dice come up as 6s again, you get to re-roll it until you run out of 6s. So.
Okay.
Magical skills are automatically open-ended, so your sensory discipline, Connor, is open-ended automatically, but if you can spend a fate to re-roll a failed dice with fate, with that skill. So.
Wait, say it again?
So if you were doing your sensory discipline,
yes.
to do your special hearing magic or whatever, it's automatically open-ended, so it's already going to roll all the 6s out for you. But if you want to spend fate on it, if you still haven't gotten enough, then you can spend a fate to re-roll a dice that did not succeed. So.
Oh, so wait, we roll multiple dice? I thought it was just 1d6.
What do you mean?
I thought it was just 1d6 that we roll. You said you can re-roll multiple dice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You said re-roll multiple dice.
Yeah.
I don't
Basically, the
understand
way
that.
it works is you pay 1 fate point, and any sixes you rolled, you can roll again. If you roll another 6, you can re-roll that same dice again until you stop getting 6s on all of them.
Yeah.
6. I thought
So
you
if
said
you roll
roll
6
D6.
sixes, you can re-roll all of them, and if you get 6 sixes again, you can re-roll all of them again
Mm-hmm.
until you stop getting 6s. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I did not know. Okay, but we roll 66 every time?
No, you roll
No.
amount of d6. You would roll an amount of d6s equal to whatever your skill is or whatever.
Right. So, yes. Okay. If I have 5 skill and I roll, and one of those rolls was a 6, I can re-roll
Yes.
that one. If instead of my 5 dice, 2 of them were a 6, I could re-roll 2 of them. And then if that re-roll lands, if those 2 re-rolls, I get 1 6 in the re-roll, I can re-roll that one again. So, does that make sense? It's just whenever you roll, you can spend a fate point to re-roll any 6s you got during that roll. That's all it means.
Okay, but how many 6s do we roll each time? Does that depend on our skill?
It's not. You may roll none. You roll the amount. You roll d6s based on your skill, but the actual 6 results are what lets you do it. So if you get a 6 on a d6, you can re-roll that.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, you roll d6s based on your skill. So if you have 5 skill, you roll 5 d6s. If any of those come up
Okay,
as a
that's what I was
6, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So and a lot of this will be better explained like when you just get it in play, and I'll explain it as we go, and it's a lot easier to just understand it as we go.
Yeah, let's just.
Okay,
let's just.
yeah, and
anything
then-
like
and-
that we need to
Well, just wait, and then the last thing when you roll that will come up. So the modifiers will come up, and then the Artha will come up, and then the base obstacle will come up. So whatever I tell you the obstacle is, you write it in that field. So you are responsible for writing in what the obstacle is, for whatever roll you're making. And then so say for example, I just did it, and I rolled that, and Alphonse failed his will roll.
Oh.
No.
But yeah.
I
So,
think that's going to happen a lot, but
yeah, probably. Well, he has a gray shade will, so though you did roll a 6, and
Is 6 good or bad?
6s are good.
Okay.
And this is the screen for all the rolls and stuff like that that'll be on. I'll be switching, for those of you watching the stream, I'll be switching from the face screen to this screen so you can see the rolls and what's happening, look at people's character sheets and stuff. So,
that's cool.
yep. All right, so besides that, the only other important thing that I do want to say before we continue is just the idea of intent and task in Birdie Wheel. So basically, whenever you make a roll, you have an intent, and it's what do you want to do, and why do you want your character to do it. So, I want to kill him is an intent. So say you're rolling your sword, and you're like, all right, my intent with this roll is to kill this guy. And depending on how hard the guy would be to kill, that's your obstacle, or it would probably be a versus or whatever.
It's also, as denoted in the book, the least interesting possible intent for combat, because
Yes.
that's just kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's
So you want it to be more specific?
you
than
want
just, I want to kill this
you
person?
want it to be more specific. So for example, say
So
I want to
cut off his head,
I
or
want to cut off
him
his-
die for this
I want to
reason?
cut off his head.
Well,
Yep. would be
And
good.
it also means like something like I want to hold them off long enough for this to happen, or I want to
Yeah.
beat them back or force them to retreat. That's a lot more interesting than just killing everybody
Yeah.
that you come across, because it's also a lot easier to win fights, or not win, but fights happen a lot quicker. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's important because you're not just doing a task. So, stabbing someone with a knife would be the task. So that is the thing you are rolling with your knives skill or whatever. But your intent is what you accomplish with that task. So, it's not just about so in D&D you would normally just say, all right, I'm going to attack him. I roll to hit with my sword, and if you hit, you do damage and you hit him with your sword. In Burning Wheel, you would say, I want to do this specific thing, like hold him off or make sure my friend can get away, that kind of stuff. And if you succeed on your roll, then you accomplish the intent of your roll. If you do not succeed, then you may accomplish the task of stabbing him with your knife, but you don't accomplish the intent of doing it so that everybody else can get away.
The more specific you can be, the better, because if you want to say, I want to get through this lock before the guards show up, and you fail, you can be like, okay, you get through the lock, but the guards show up. Like, you can take parts of your intent and be like, see, you don't get your whole intent. And so the more specific you can be, the more interesting it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the let it ride situation, so you don't have to worry about the fact that you rolled sword to get your friends away, but now you don't have to worry about rolling sword again to not die, because the let it ride basically says, you rolled your sword in this situation, you passed, you're just kind of, for the rest of the scene, going to have passed. If you fail, you just kind of messed up the whole scene, and you're not gonna be able to fight anybody.
Yeah, so basically, also the let it ride rule is important to know. So basically, it's a player shall test once against an obstacle and shall not roll again until conditions legitimately and drastically change. So if you're going to try to stab this person with a knife so your friends can get away, you roll once for that, and if you fail, you fail. You can roll another skill to try to accomplish the same thing, but it is another roll. It has to be another skill. So no matter how many times you stab him with your knife, you will not succeed with your intent. So... And I think that's pretty much it for the mechanical basic stuff.
So say that last part one more time.
So basically, yeah. So it's no matter how many times you stab him with your knife, you will not succeed on having your friends get away. That's what that means. So
one of the examples in the book was one character's trying to grab a knife that's in like this thing, or some kind of artifact, and one character wants to hold him back. The character who wants to hold him back, they roll a opposing test. The character who's trying to hold him back wins, and the guy's like, "Oh, I don't stop. I keep trying to grab it." It doesn't matter. For as long as the situation remains relatively similar, that guy has completed his intent of not letting the other guy get the artifact. So he will hold him until someone shoots him, and then maybe he can try again or something like that, because now the guy's dead. But basically for the rest of the scene, as long as nothing major happens, he won't ever be able to grab the thing because the guy's going to stop him.
Okay, so if
it's basically to stop you from trying to roll and roll and roll and roll and roll.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're good.
All right, so now that that's all out of the way, let's get down to story stuff. So the concept for this campaign is medieval Suicide Squad. So basically, we have a group of criminals here, 4 to be exact. Delon, Alphonse, Cantarius, and Antonius, and each of them have done despicable things to get them thrown into prison. And I mean, I think that's pretty much all we need to say before we just continue, because we all know the rest of it, the more detailed stuff of it, but we'll just kind of play it out and see what happens. So what I want to start with then is you guys are all in your cells, your individual cells. You've been in your cells for about a week or so, give or take. Some of you have been in there longer, but you've been in these specific cells for a week. So you may have been in prison longer, but the guards moved you to this prison. You're in the second biggest city in the Kingdom of Ceran, which is where this story is going to take place, and the city called Lucerta. And it is the religious center of the kingdom, and the home of who we will affectionately refer to in this game as the Pope, though he probably has a bit more of a specific title. I'm not sure exactly what that is. What did you write down, Jared? Yeah. What did you write down, Jared, for
what?
For when I asked you to send me the list of your stuff? How did you phrase? Let me look. I have it up here. The most holy of men, the supreme pontiff of the church, the honorable pope, and I don't know what his name is off the top of my head.
Ton.
Something Ton. I did not name the pope yet, so
Nice.
that's fine. We don't need to know his name yet.
He's also probably not called the Pope, but it serves.
Whatever. It's because this is the thing. Like we're doing it like a Brandon Sanderson novel where he's using the word that is the closest in our modern English to what he wants it to be. So. Mm-hmm. All right. So we open. We fade in from black, and we see sunlight, rays of sunlight coming from the open window of a cell leads outside, and we kind of follow the camera as it pans down from that window, and we see David's character laying on his cot. And David, just please describe to me what you're doing. What would you be doing if you've been sitting in here for a week?
Probably. Well, okay. Does he have his any of his personal effects, or I imagine they probably
Nope.
have them.
You are
Take it
stripped. You are stripped to the waist. You have
Alright.
nothing.
All right, then in that case, he's probably just praying. I imagine at this point, he does that a lot, and
Okay.
it's probably what he's keeping his mind off of it, since he doesn't have his holy book.
Okay. All right. Other.
I didn't know David was in prison too.
What'd you say,
What was
Con?
that?
I said I didn't know that David was in prison too.
Yep.
Yep. All 4 of you are in prison.
Alright. We're good. We're good.
Are there any specific words that you're saying, or are you just kind of like mumbling the normal rote prayers?
No, I think he's kind of in more words, just kind of being like, I understand, your ways are higher and stuff like that, and like I don't know what's going on or why I'm here, like like basically I was doing what I thought was right, and now I'm in prison.
Yeah.
I know there's a reason for this. I don't know what it is. Show me that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of going over that again in his head. Because
Okay.
he trusts them, but he's also in prison, so he's kind of like, hey.
Yeah. More specifically, I kind of failed to inform you of this, but the religion of Ceran is very much a mix of like Catholicism and ancient Israel, and more specifically, there is a god figure, like a singular god, in this religion. He's probably referred to as the Great God, and all of the other Garrick like deities are basically patron saints of one thing or another.
Patron saint of lost causes?
Yes, there probably is one of those.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
But so, are you praying to the Great God, or are you praying to one of the patron saints?
He's probably assuming that it wouldn't be like a presumptuous thing for him to do. He's probably praying straight to the deity himself, unless that's a presumptuous thing to do, in which case he probably would.
No, it's not a presumptuous thing to do.
All right, then yeah, that's probably.
Another way, it's like, hey, I'm about to die.
Well, this is the
Yeah.
thing. I
Like,
feel,
you might want to.
yeah,
either.
I feel like that it might be a presumptuous thing to do in that religion, but I feel like Delon would do it because it's a presumptuous thing to do.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Because
But to be
like,
fair, he's much more presumptuous when it comes to the religious leaders than he is the actual.
no, and I get that, but like, I feel like because of his grasp of doctrine, he understands that is the main,
Right.
center religious figure, and that's the most important one. So, I mean, obviously, it's up to you, but
No, yeah, and I think that makes sense because he's seeking for the secret purpose behind all this confusing stuff, and
Yeah.
he probably doesn't. Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
All right.
Sure.
And we kind of go through the wall and cut into Alphonse's
That's
room.
probably a painful experience.
Yeah. What is Alphonse doing, Jared?
Throwing pebbles at David. And be like, psst, David. Or,
I'm on the other side of the wall. Oh, you mean throwing him at the wall?
Oh, are they not bars or is it solid wall?
No, it's solid wall, and then there are like little windows up at the top that let in sunlight. There might be a grate in between. Maybe there's like a drain.
Okay. I make a sing check to annoy the guards.
You make a sing check to annoy
Yes.
the guards. Do you have the skill sing?
No.
All right.
Problem solved.
So here's the real question: if his intent is to annoy the guards and he fails, does that mean he just sings so well that they think like they just listen to it?
Hmm.
Well, this is the thing. Okay, so what is your intent? Is your intent just to annoy the guards?
Yes. Oh, it'd be persuasion then, right?
No,
And
it would be
persuadingly
sing.
sing.
If you're singing, then you
Okay.
are specifically singing.
Okay.
If you're talking,
Okay, I'm
then
singing.
you're
Maybe he's
Okay.
trying to persuade them through song.
okay. Go ahead and go to your character sheet,
Okay.
and I'm gonna add in sing for you being learned. I believe sing is will, correct, David?
I
that
don't
right?
know, but I will look.
Let me look that.
Wait, how is this working right now? Why is he adding a skill?
Because he's attempting to learn it at this point.
He's not actually adding it; he's adding it to the being
Okay.
learned, which means that he rolls his attribute, and then his difficulty, the number he has to get doubles.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And then every test he gets, no matter whether he succeeds or fails, it'll go towards actually learning the skill. And when he does, it'll come in at half of his governing stat, which is. Come on, you learned this in kindergarten. Okay. Wait, why? Oh, it's because I'm an idiot and looking in the wrong appendix.
Who is that?
This is
Chase.
Oh. Okay.
What? Where? Here we go. Okay.
I love that our first roll of this game is going to be Jared just trying to annoy the guards by singing.
Yes.
Yep, it's Will. Yep.
Josh, keep in mind that your mic is muted if you wanted to be heard. But
I know, I'm fully aware.
All right, just making sure.
Okay.
Okay, so what you're going to do, Jared, is you're going to go to your being learned, and you're going to click on that dice right there, and you're not going to get any forks or anything like that. Put in the obstacle as... See, this is the thing. I'm wondering if the obstacle will be pretty low because he doesn't have to be bad at singing or good at singing to... See, this is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this is actually a sing roll. I feel like it's not.
Well, his intent is kind of to do something else. I feel like singing would be something he would fork in to do what he wants to do, which would probably be provoke or something if that's a skill. But
It would be conspicuous.
I have conspicuous.
You do have conspicuous, so go ahead and roll conspicuous instead. Because I know you want to learn singing anyway, but go ahead and roll for conspicuous for this instead. So, because it is a skill that you know, you can fork in a skill if you want to. Is there any? Are you doing anything else except for just being obnoxious?
I'm trying to get them into the cell to beat me.
You're trying to get them into the cell. Okay, so we're doing
Okay,
that thing that you
this would
talked
be
about.
a really
Yeah.
good idea if you were playing any of your other characters. You should get them in the cell to beat up me, except I don't have a sword, so it's a bad idea anyways. My brawling sucks.
Can I convince them to go beat up David? Oh my gosh, no, I'm completely changing it. I'm just like, hey guards. Dude, that guy next to me is talking total crap about your mama. I think you should teach him a lesson. I'm doing it.
Okay, all right.
Just quietly praying in the corner the whole time, and he's like, what?
Okay, where is it?
You're a terrible
Savvy
person, Jared.
persuasion then?
Okay, is that all you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that specifically is going to be a hard roll. So let's go ahead and make that an ob 5.
Oh no.
Because if you're just saying that one sentence, you have to be very careful with how you phrase that sentence and what you're exactly doing to make sure that
It'd
they
be pretty
are
difficult to
persuaded.
get just that one sentence to work.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mm.
so go ahead and roll that.
Darn.
You have failed.
Hmm.
Okay, so the guards
He
come.
comes in and tries to beat you up.
Yeah, no, the guards come in and beat you up instead.
Can I pickpocket the key from one of them?
You can attempt to. Okay, so are you fighting back?
No.
Okay.
I can't fight.
So this is the thing. This is the part where they just give you a wound.
Oh.
So. I do not know. Oh man, I didn't write in your wounds. I'll have to do that. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a light wound.
Oh.
So there you go.
Okay.
You have 1 wound dice now, so everything you do will be a -1.
Great.
So yeah, the guards come in and they rough you up a bit. They're kind of like, pinning you against the wall, punch you in the stomach a couple times, and one of them one of them spits in your face, and he says, "You're despicable. You think that man of God over there, that holy man of God, would do anything to harm my mother?"
I mean,
They know I killed the guy,
I'm
right?
kind of a page.
Probably, but I mean, at this point, I think you have a bit of a reputation for.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, yeah.
Wait, what did he call me? Exactly. What
What do you mean?
did he call me any names, perchance?
What do you mean?
Because I only half heard what you said.
Oh no, they punch you a couple times,
Okay.
pinned you against the wall. One of them spit in your face and basically said, "How dare you insult that man of God over there?"
I'm kind of a page, so it's kind of a big deal.
You talking about like you're implying that you're a member of the knighthood?
Yeah, I'm like I'm basically the same, probably better than him.
Well, you're not a page, are you?
He was a page.
Was, right? Like
Yes.
a long time ago.
Yeah, you wouldn't
You
wouldn't
like
say
8,
that.
Or not 8, like 10.
You would tell them that you're like actually a knight.
A knight.
Okay.
You're supposed to be an honorary knight, right? That'd be much more impressive. Telling them you're a knight of the whatever order, holy order.
I am a knight of the most holy order. How dare you address me as such?
Do you say it exactly like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you sure that's the syntax you wanted to use?
I think he gets the idea.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they
Oh,
just
man.
they just punch you again and leave you on the floor.
Are any of them female?
Nope,
Darn.
they're all male. So did you actually want to try to do a sleight of hand to pickpocket the key?
Yes.
Okay. See, I don't actually... Oh, yeah, okay, so one of them probably would have the key on them because they had to open the door. Go ahead and make a untrained sleight of hand roll. Unfortunately for you, it is untrained. So I'm going to go ahead and add being learned. And sleight of hand is just agility, right? I mean, that makes sense.
What's the difficulty?
Let's say the ob is 4.
Nope. Oh. Oh.
Exactly. So that's not going to work. Because the ob doubles to 8. So.
Yeah, that's
That
rough,
is,
man.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and mark one of those boxes though, next to sleight of hand, on the bottom there. Because that once you get that up to 7 box little circles, then you learn the skill. So.
Okay.
Also because you made a persuasion roll, you can mark a difficult test.
Where's that?
Right by your persuasion, there's another little box thing that has a difficult.
Okay.
So go ahead and click that.
Gotcha.
Yep. So. Okay, so there you go. Alphonse got beat up in a cell. Connor, are you there?
Oh man. He's not standing in front of his computer.
Yeah, no, I know. Did everybody see him leave the room?
I didn't, no.
Um,
But I wasn't paying attention. I'm still looking for this one piece of text in this book that I cannot find, and it's driving me insane.
All right, so we go over to the next cell, and Antonius is sitting in the cell. What is Antonius doing, Josh?
Is there straw on the floor?
Yep, there's some
Are
straw.
you spinning it into gold?
No, I'm not spinning any gold. I'm just weaving it into a tight ball.
Fair enough. I guess that's as good too, you know.
Okay. So you're just sitting there weaving some straw into a little ball?
I'm also looking around the cell, looking for weaknesses. loose
Structural
hinges,
weaknesses.
loose blocks.
Okay, go ahead and make an observation test for me then.
Okay, hang on one sec. Let me pull up my sheet. My computer will respond. Okay, it's gonna be.
And I don't think you have observation.
I probably don't.
Do you have...
That wouldn't be
Yeah.
appraisal, would it? Because appraisal would be goods and stuff.
Yeah, appraisal does not... that might be a fork if you actually had the skill, but unfortunately you do not have the skill, so you cannot fork. So,
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and add that to your sheet for you.
What about prison-wise? Would that be something?
That's a good point. You could roll that as a linked test, definitely. So basically how that would work is go ahead and roll prison-wise, just by itself,
Okay.
against an ob... Okay, so what exactly are you trying to find out about this
Prison-wise
prison?
after 1 week.
Yeah. No, he had
I'm
prison
just-
wise because he'd been in prison a whole bunch.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, I'm confused with Roll20 here. Give me. a
That's
sec.
right.
It's all good.
Okay. Prison what? So to make a roll against it, I click the little dice icon.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there's the thing. Okay.
Okay, so before
Okay.
we go any further, what are you specifically trying to do with this?
Specifically, I am looking at the. Okay. Let's see. The cell that I'm in. How's it laid out?
It's a simple, like, pretty small, cramped square, and there's a cot to one side of the wall, and there's a drain in the center of the floor, straw kind of scattered haphazardly. There's a bucket in the corner where you would defecate, and then the window above with some bars and some rays of sunlight coming on. It's like morning, so the first rays of sunlight are coming in.
Okay. So like 3 stone walls and an iron door, or.
Yeah, 4 stone walls, and then in the middle of the fourth, there's an iron door in the middle.
Okay. And then drains between the cells.
Yep.
Okay. I am inspecting the door, looking for potential weak points, specifically the condition of the hinges and lock.
Okay, so you can
well as-
definitely fork in lockpick. So go ahead and add 1 to the modifier on there.
Okay.
You can probably fork in materials wise, to be honest.
Yes, that does sound like.
Yeah. So go ahead and add that in 2.
Yeah, and you were just made to get out of a cell.
I mean, literally, most of his skills are specifically designed for that.
I guess we'll just have to get arrested a lot, and then we'll be like the Houdini of prisons.
And that's the idea, anyway.
And I think that's probably it.
That looks like all I can fork. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and continue the next thing. I assume you're not going to spend a persona on this.
Nope.
Okay. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about persona is that there's a rule where you can basically there's 2 different things that you can do with persona points. You can basically redirect the narrative away from certain death for your character. So where you would have like gotten crushed by a rock or whatever, you can spend a persona point and basically just say, okay, I dodge under the rock, but something else happens that complicates the situation, so you don't just get out of it entirely, but you don't die. So and then also you have to you have to spend a persona point if you get a mortal wound to survive. If you don't spend a persona point when you get a mortal wound, you die. You just die. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's good to keep a persona point around in the case that might happen. So
Okay.
I feel like that's
so
going to happen to us a lot.
yeah.
We have. Okay. So when you were saying we were setting up, we have 1 persona point
And 1 fate.
and 1 fate point.
Yep.
Okay. And those go in little bubbles under
Indeed.
Artha and Epiphanies.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Whole new system, whole new sheets. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So I'm not spending any persona. Or fate
Not
points
something in
here.
Artha, yeah. And then the ob. Let's see. The ob is gonna be. Let's just make it 3.
All right. Then submit to roll it.
Yep.
All right.
Nice. You handily
Cool.
succeeded on that with a couple 6s to boot. So,
I don't actually know where the dice are at this point in time. I cannot find them on my screen. Roll20 is being confusing again.
yeah, Jared doesn't have them on his either. So
Mm-hmm.
I can see them though.
Oh, I can see them on the Twitch stream. Okay, I see that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and mark prison-wise test. It's a routine test. Yeah.
So just first bubble.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, the door isn't as structurally sound as it might appear. It looks like if you could get some sort of leverage, you might be able to pop the door off of its hinges.
So half barrel hinges then.
Yes.
Cool.
Classic
Cool.
Pirates of the Caribbean move.
Huzzah!
Yes. Leverage.
All right. What's the crack under the door look like?
Uh,
Food, or is it or do they hand that through the
No,
middle?
no, they I think what they normally do is they have you go against the wall, and like there's like a little window slot thing on like the top that you can look in, and they most of the time they just have you go against the wall, and then someone comes in and just drops food off for you. This prison is specifically for the people who are going to be executed, so they don't really have a lot of people who are staying here a long period, so they don't really need like a little slot or whatever. It's just to keep them demoralized until they get killed. So
Sure. Okay.
So while you're figuring that out, you're kind of expecting the door or whatever. We pop over to the next cell, and what is Cantarius doing, Connor?
I am solemn.
Cannot hear you at all.
Solemn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I am solemn in the corner.
You mean solemn?
Dang it.
Solemn.
I am solemn in the corner. I'm just chilling.
Okay.
Just head down. Just contemplating my life.
Okay.
So I get the feeling our characters haven't really mingled very much over the course of the week we've been in here.
I don't think so. No.
Right.
That's the case. Doesn't sound like.
No.
Okay.
I think most of them are pretty much loners. So, except for Jared, but no one wants to talk to Jared. So.
I probably tried a lot.
Okay. So you hear footsteps. All of you hear footsteps as a couple of guards walking down the hallway where all of these cells are. And they stop in front of your cell, David. Or Delon, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bye, David.
You mean bye, Delon?
Bye, Dylan.
Yeah. And
I'm assuming that we all know we're about to be executed today.
oh yes, and with those footsteps, it goes into your mind. Every single one of you thinks of this. This is the day, and I can't remember what I called. Oh, the Feast of Souls. That's what this day is called. And
Does
it's
not sound like a fun holiday.
no,
That's
it's
going to be ominous.
yes, it's like one of those kind of commemoration feasts, where basically it's to commemorate when the great god pronounced to like the first pope or whatever, that anyone who followed the church, their soul would be reaped at like the end and go to be with him. So this apparently marks the day like 300 or so years ago that happened. And it is a common time for criminals to be executed, because these are obviously the ones that the great god will not take with him, and so yeah, it's
So is that irony?
it's kind of irony. Part of it is that it's just a popular festival, and so the people want to see a spectacle most of the time, and so they give him an execution. So.
Interesting. Sounds like a very sick country.
I mean, it's a medieval country,
I
so...
mean, they are run by a pope.
That's true.
The most evil of men.
Oh, dear. Jared, I think we're going to have to talk about not making fun of the Catholic Church in this.
Why? No delicate sensibilities.
Yeah, I know. We're on the internet.
What are they going to do? Track down your IP address and hunt you down?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
No, I'm kidding.
you know, what we want to do, Jared, is have people listen to this and not get on tangents.
Oh.
And if you say Catholic Church, there's like a part of my brain that just opens up and knowledge just pours out. So we should
Yeah.
not do that.
Caleb, what mic do you use?
I just typed it in.
Okay.
It's like it triggers something in me when you talk about the Pope and stuff. So
Yeah.
You get.
what's it
not-
called? Like
never mind,
trigger
I'm not gonna go
warnings?
Yeah, trigger
Yeah, like
warnings.
trigger warnings.
Okay,
Yeah, let's not do that.
anyway. Yeah, so all of your minds go to that, and you know that one thing also that comes to your mind is the fact that on every single Feast of Souls, the Pope through the channel of like the priests in charge of the festival, basically exonerates one criminal every Feast of Souls. So there's usually like there's usually a group of criminals that are executed via beheading, but the Pope graciously exonerates one of them, basically granting them eternal life.
So he gets to pick
this is
between one
cool.
of his two kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, alright, so one of us is Barnabas, one of us is the good thief on the cross, one of us is the bad thief on the cross, and then one of us is Jesus. I call being Jesus, okay?
Darn it.
So that
Who wants
means
to come with
you
me
get to
paradise
die.
today?
Connor.
Yeah, who wants to be released and who wants to go to paradise? Dang it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that
Anyways,
information.
moving on. We hear footsteps.
Yeah, you hear
I'm bad at
footsteps,
pronouncing
and
names, apparently.
the door opens. Or actually, they kind of knock on your cell, Delon, and one of them says, "Against the wall, knight." And you can tell, like, throughout this entire time, they've been actually kind of respectful of you, because you
I
are.
go walk up and faceplant against the door, but I realize I'm not playing a sarcastic character, so I can't do that. Yeah,
You could. Just
I mean, it wouldn't make sense. Though. Yeah, he just goes up against the wall,
Yeah.
then he just kind of looks up from praying and steps up and turns around and goes up against the far wall.
okay.
All right, and the two guards kind of come in. You hear them from behind you, and they kind of like roughly like search you real quick, like as is the custom, and then one of them grabs you like on the shoulder and kind of turns you around and says, "It's time," and you know exactly what that means, and he kind of leads you out, and another guard comes in, does the same to Alphonse. What do you say?
Dinner time? Like what? I don't get a final meal. I'd like steak and potatoes.
And one of them slaps you across the face.
I'm like many of my lovers smack harder than you.
Many,
So okay,
Oh
But
my
many
gosh.
of your lovers did, or many of them do?
Both.
so I think at this point, okay, so when that happens, so I'm walking past the cell at that point because they've already come and got me, and he kind of like jostles towards the cell like he wants to get in there, but obviously the guards stop him from moving. But he kind of like lurches towards it like he wants to punch him or something, and they just like wrestle him off and keep walking
Okay.
towards Alphonse. I mean.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Like, Dylan, calm down. We all know it was a drunken mistake.
Oh, so great.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh man.
Put your head in the body of an evil man, and this is what happens.
Yep.
I'm not sure you're gonna get to the part where they convince me not to kill him. To be totally honest here.
All right. And they do the same for you, Cantarius.
I have a question. What would I roll to try and grab one of the soldiers' swords?
I mean, it depends. If that was the only thing you were doing, if that was your role in its entirety, it would probably just be an agility. Or no, maybe a speed.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be speed. It'd be an opposed speed test.
Okay, he might try and do that. I don't expect him to succeed, but that's okay.
Okay, well, Cantarius, what are you doing?
Yeah, I just slowly go willingly. I just kind of slowly but surely.
Okay.
I walk to my death.
All right. Antonius.
Mhm.
They knock on your door in the same way that they've been doing with everybody, and you are in the middle of inspecting it. What do you do?
Estimated weight of the door. What do I think the door is What do I think the door weighs?
Probably pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's probably pretty heavy.
Okay. I wish we had had one more turn around before it came to this.
That's exactly why I did it.
Yeah.
Just lift the door and then let it fall on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the door and see if I can haul it off its hinges and throw it at them in a sort of up and off.
Very nice.
Okay,
Do you want
all
me
right.
to read the speed test for grabbing their sword too, by the way?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll those at like basically the same time. Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Can we
and
both get a what's it?
A helping die?
together?
A helping
Yeah.
die for that because it's a distraction. Absolutely.
Attacking each other. Yeah. Sweet.
Okay, so this is a power roll for me.
Yep.
Oh, that's
And
not good.
then I can fork in prison-wise, right? Because
Yep,
I'm familiar
yep.
with prison.
Or no, because it's a stat test, so you can't fork.
Oh, can't fork for a stat test?
Nope.
Okay,
I'm
so
excited
no
to see
modifiers
what
on this
your-
then, or?
What you're...
Wait a second, David. Can you fork in skills to a stat test if it's not a being learned thing?
I think so. I know you can't do stats to skills. I think you can do skills to stats. Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah.
Maybe I should just Google it. It'll be faster.
We should just decide something though and go with it. Then look it up later and figure it out later.
Connor, if you're gonna talk, put your mic down.
We should just, sorry, I'm eating something.
No, that's
so,
fine.
We should just keep it like that. Whatever we assume it is, just leave it until we figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we have the internet. This shouldn't be very hard.
Yeah, it's fine. Just have go ahead and roll it. You can
You
fork
can
it in.
only fork skills into skills, apparently.
Oh, you can. Okay.
No, it says it's directly contradicted by page 240, where it says letting streetwise being forked into speed into chase. So
Yeah, you can fork it, and we'll look up the details later. So go ahead and fork it in.
So that's an extra 1 then?
Yep.
Modifier? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just a 1 on the modifiers then?
Yep.
Or was there something more because Jared and I were going at the same time? Who's David?
Oh,
who am I-
David. Yeah,
who
it's
am I
David.
going at the same time?
Yeah, go ahead and add
Yeah.
another modifier. Sorry. Yeah. One more.
Okay. Cool.
I think he's doing just a normal test, right? I'm doing an opposed. Or is he doing an opposed also?
He's
Connor's
probably
an opposed test, right?
I
yeah.
would assume the guards are not trying to hold the door in place.
No, they aren't. So yeah, it's not an opposed test for
right.
you. So
Well,
the,
I mean, the opposed would be them rolling to not get crushed, or do whatever, or stop you, or whatever.
no, that's fine. It's fine. You just go ahead and roll against an ob. Let's see. What is your power, Antonius?
My power is that's the number. Okay, that's the number right next to the shade
Yep.
level.
Yep.
That's 5.
Nice. Okay. Let's just go ahead and say 5.
All right.
5. Holy crap.
I mean, it's an iron door.
I mean, fair enough. He has 5 power though. That's pretty
All right. You can spend a fate point to open in those 6s.
Oh, you got 2 6s? Yeah, you're totally all over this.
I have a fate point to spend.
You do have a
Yeah,
fate
you
point to
start with
spend.
1.
Not
Oh, and then
where
you
this
want to
is,
actually,
but let's give this a shot.
Okay,
you want
so
to actually
well,
drop
hang on.
that skill point or that fate point into the thing you're rolling to your power. Next to your power stat, there's that FPD. Put a 1 in the F.
Yeah.
And then delete it off of your fates section. That just means that you spent 1 fate on it, and that can be a thing later. Once
Okay.
you rack up enough points of different kinds, you can like do things with it.
Okay.
But anyway.
Okay. I cannot see my rolls, my numbers here.
If you hover over your successes number, it tells you what you got.
Yep.
So if you hover over that 4, it'll tell you everything you rolled.
Rolling. Oh, that's that funny. Okay.
Yeah, so
I
go
was
ahead and-
thinking
yeah.
That was a short code for some reason. I
No.
see.
Yeah.
Go ahead
So
and
5, 6, 2, 2, 4, 6, and a 1.
Yep.
Yep.
So
you
so
can
go
reroll
ahead
those
and
2 6s.
type in /roll space 2d6.
And yep, any 4, 5, or 6s. Cool. So you got another one. You can actually roll that again because
Yeah,
you
you
got
can.
1 more 6. So you got it. You have 5 successes now, and you can actually roll the 6 again. So now roll 1d6. Oh,
Okay.
that
So you just got 5.
5.
So what was your intent exactly again?
My intent was to.
Your intent was to knock the
roll-
entire building down because you succeeded. So whatever
No,
you
my
want.
No.
intent was to. I'm not. That would be. No, I can't do that.
He forgot what it was. Now it can be whatever.
No,
he
my
wants.
intent was to lift the door off its hinges and throw it into them, to hopefully knock them down or off balance.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
hopefully
succeed on
knock
that.
them
So
down so I can get out of the cell.
So this is what we see. We see Antonius kind of like fiddling with the door, and then he hears a knock, and his face like goes up, and then looks at it, heaves, and the guards cry out as the door just literally just falls right on top of them, and you have 2 guards pinned under an iron door right in front of you.
All right, and then I got a 2 for mine. So if one of
Yeah,
them can
I'm gonna roll a speed. Yep.
Oh, did I get a 6 on that? I did. Okay. They got 2 also?
They get 2 lost. Though, to be honest, actually, they probably have helping dice because they're helping each other.
That's true. Well, I'm gonna roll... Or I'll use the fate then. I should have done that before, but I forgot that I had a fate. Or maybe I shouldn't, because you already rolled, so...
So I'm actually gonna roll 1 more dice for a helping dice for them, just to see.
Okay.
Okay, so they just stamped the 2 successes then.
Yep. Can I use my fate point for that? I know you already rolled your thing, so it's okay if you say no, but then I can try and get that 3rd one.
Say it again.
Can I use my fate point to try and get another?
Oh, yeah.
I rolled a 6 on that too,
Yep.
so good deal. All right. Speed. There you are. All right. Oh, so I get 3 then.
Yep. Okay, so you succeed. You take the sword out of the guard's sheath.
All right.
What does that look
Then
like?
So he throws the hinges off the door and knocks 2 over. The other 2 flinch, or like, holy crap, what's going on? And then right when they do that, they loosen their grip enough that I twist around, grab one of their swords, and I run straight into Jared's cell and try and run him through.
Oh no!
Oh, David, no.
Okay,
David, why?
so technically, this is after Jared has already been let out of his cell.
Oh, okay.
So he's basically a couple guards ahead of you.
Okay, then I just try and run to him to hit him with it.
I book it.
All right, so let's go ahead and cut there for a break. Let's take about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll come back and find out what happens next. Because I'm gonna, get some water and stuff. So.
Good deal. Oh,
Alright.
Caleb, one thing.
Mhm.
I did find it's on the wiki for Burning Wheel. It says Bloody Versus is little less final, ending with a wound and a winner who can do whatever he likes to the loser. So that could include executing him.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's where I got that. It wasn't
All
actually from
right.
the rule book, but all right, cool deal. I'll be right back.
All right. Sounds good. Adios, people.
Good.